We were hired by a client. The client was a set of union workers, and one of the things that we did was we had to go through and collect a lot of documents very quickly and go through a large amount of data. We collected 5 terabytes of documents from over 300 custodians in 10 locations. But what was interesting about this case was the custodians themselves were very conscious of the fact that they were going to be sued. They really understood, and so they never used the client name, they never used the other party's information. And so as we were running these key terms, as we were looking into the documents themselves, we found very little responsive information. And it was very difficult to actually find documents that made sense. And so it wasn't until we actually did an analysis of the non-responsive population that we actually started to find relevant information. What we found was that they were using text speak, they were using code words, they were never talking about Chicago, for example. They were talking about, where the Bulls play, where the Bears play. And so, running a search term for the word Chicago never really returned anything because that didn't help us. It wasn't until we started to find these other critical terms that really allowed us to find what we were looking for. And so, as we talked about earlier, it's very important for the search term process, for the culling process to be iterative, because if we had simply run our search terms and stopped there, we never would have found the critical documents. And in this instance, we had a very short amount of time, and so we actually brought in people to do the review and to do the analysis in a very short window, but looking at the non-responsive population and finding those documents that had our code words and had the extra terms that we would never have found otherwise was really the key to ultimately finding the documents that were used to do the analysis and to prove the fraud and to prove that the case had good documents, regardless of the fact that the search terms themselves did not return what the clients were actually looking for.